Let me start with the Tampa Green Bay game. What an ass whooping, huh? Woo, woo, woo. And I guess part of it is everybody catches a whooping every now and again, right? That's like kind of what happens. Everybody catches a whooping, and we should at some point just go, hey, it's a beatdown. It was going to happen at some point. And Aaron Rodgers even said, I felt like we needed a little bit of a wake-up call this season because things have been so good. I feel like we need a little kick in the ass a little bit. Well, you got it, right? You absolutely got it. They looked, do you remember last year they had 2 regular season trips to California, and both times they were just kind of asleep at the wheel and got their butts kicked? That's exactly what happened yesterday. Now, it should be pointed out that things were going smoothly. They're up 10-0, and Aaron Rodgers was kind of feeling himself as he just kind of flung the ball on an out pattern to Devontae Adams, and the Buccaneers were sitting on the route and took it back for a pick 6. But I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't believe any quarterback is great when you constantly have a muddied pocket. But Rodgers is a guy that we thought had great escapability, great creativity, and a guy who could just flat out make plays. Now, I noticed something that I don't know how many other people mentioned. Is it Tunyon, right? The tight end? He kind of tweaked his knee. It was on a big 3rd down where he should have been open. It was actually right before the pick. He tweaked his knee. And 1, it caused them to not get a first down because he was late out of a break because of it. And 2, when he went out of the game, that was kind of the safety net a little bit for Aaron Rodgers over the middle against some of these blitzes. But this was a house of cards. That's what happened there. A complete house of cards. And they all fell down. As soon as Aaron Rodgers threw those 2 picks, the team collapsed. But maybe instead of paying attention to Rodgers, we should pay attention to Tom Brady and the genius that is Brady. Sure, he has better offensive weapons, but he's found a way to use Rob Gronkowski. And more than anything, he tries to make smart plays on time, and he covers for his inability to make as many plays, not just with the supporting cast, but with an outstanding defense. Buccaneers have the number 2 overall defense according to Football Outsiders. When the Patriots defense ranked in points per game the last 4 seasons, 1st, 5th, 6th, 1st. All right, like Brady's the same Brady. He's fine. When he gets time, he can make throws. When he doesn't, he's under duress. He's not very good. He's immobile. He throws a nice deep ball. Nice touch passes. He's not throwing guys open nearly as much anymore, if at all. The level of creativity has been damped down because outside of Gronk, he hasn't worked with these other guys. So he doesn't have a Welker, a Amendola, an Edelman, a guy he always seems to find on 3rd down. He hasn't established that relationship yet. But in the meantime, you just play it safe, you play it smart, and your defense, keeps you in and gets you leads in games. And the Green Bay Packers crumbled a bit. Not a bit. They completely crumbled. The good news is that was, on many levels, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going back to their last game a week ago Thursday, and so many other teams. The bad news is we've actually seen this before from the Packers with Matt LaFleur as their head coach and Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, and they haven't seemed to fix these problems, right? What happened last night is the same thing that happened against the Niners twice last year. Just overwhelmed by a pass rush. And once they got behind, Aaron Rodgers seemed to revert to some of his old habits. And oh yeah, by the way, Aaron Rodgers was off. He was just not good. It was a moment to put the league on notice. They could not do it. And instead, Tampa, just beaming with confidence, ends up scoring 38 unanswered points. That's remarkable. There was a lot of interesting things that happened yesterday. The Colts getting 3 touchdowns down and coming back against a young Cincinnati team. The Tennessee-Houston game that went overtime. The Vikings continue to struggle as Atlanta got their first win. I don't know if I'm using this term correctly, but low-key, Cam Newton was trash yesterday. He was bad. And I do wonder if we all overreacted to Cam early in the season, much the way we overreact to others that we have low expectations of early in the season. Jared Goff was Goffle. I love that I got a chance to see Tua play. I do think that Detroit is a lot better than their record again. Baker Mayfield, as we told you, was the weak link, and man, did it look like it yesterday in Pittsburgh. But the number one thing that I learned is same old Packers, where when Rodgers falters and gets a little bit behind and a little bit pissy with the play calling, with his own play, with his pass protection, they don't react well. And they were just overwhelmed by a pass rush. And that Tom Brady's smart. Don't just find a team with weapons, find a team with a defense so that you can make plays or not make plays. And if you don't, the defense can pick you up. Different team, different uniform, different coach, different offense, same Tom Brady. Here's the thing about the Titans. Okay? There's lots of things to like about them. I like their coach. I don't just like Mike Vrabel because he seems to be a good coach and he played football. Like, he's old enough to have worked at a couple different places. He's young enough and still athletic enough to where he'll go bump with some of those defensive linemen. Like, that is cred. There's a certain credibility to players when you can get out and go like, here, give me the ball, or let me get in this. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, you get some of these dudes are old men. You just can't physically do it, especially football. They get so beaten out. Their bodies are so bad. But if you can show somebody, instead of telling you, let me show you what I'm thinking, or maybe a way in which you could do it. I think his ability to get down there and get in the trenches with those guys, I think is a big factor. I think the fact that they know who they are. We are running the football. We're going to run right at you with Derrick Henry. We're not going to be clever and have all kind of jet sweep motion. We're going to use some of that, whatever. But the heart of what we are is we're going to run the football. Then we're going to play great, great defense. And we're just going to run the football, shorten the game, and play off of play action. We can stop it. But I get the sense, and this is a big thing that I just get the sense of, I think they like what they're doing and how they're doing it. I want you to think about this for a second. If you did not have to go to work tomorrow, would you? Or if they said, like, listen, you're still going to get paid, only you can't show up to your job. We're going to get together and meet off-site and just talk about work. But it is completely up to you. It is voluntary. Would you do it? Here's my point. When the Tennessee Titans, they got in trouble, it was like last week or whatever, they're supposed to be double secret probation because when they had positive tests that they didn't know if they were false positive or whatever, they all met at like a local park, right? And there's pictures of them and how dare they do that. And my thing is, I think that's how you know this is a big-time football team. Went to the playoffs. They're playing well early. And when given a chance to, like, hey, we might play this weekend, we might not. We're going to go meet at a park, and the dudes all show up. It just tells you that they got great chemistry. They got a good thing going there. Because most places of work, like Aaron Rodgers was ticked. And I'll get to Rodgers in a second. He was ticked that he's like, yeah, COVID rules. I can't leave Green Bay. Like, yo, you're undefeated. You got the week off. I don't know. I'm sure he's got a nice house. Right? Like, probably pretty nice. Like, could you go back to California or in LA where he lives? Like, yeah, but to complain about it, why wouldn't you want to be around your guys? Why wouldn't you want to be just around your house and run a bunch of errands you never get a chance to run while you have a weekend off because you're by? And it doesn't mean that they have bad chemistry, but they don't have what's special going on in Tennessee. Right? When the world is burning down and they don't know if they're going to play a football game and they don't know if they can practice, and the guys go like, all right, let's get together at this park. Don't tell anybody. And everybody shows up. It tells you that is in addition to having a coach who knows all the rules and is able to exploit the loopholes, in addition to knowing who they are as a football team, they seem to legitimately like each other. and like what they're doing. And that is unique in the professional sports world.